Konnichiwa and good evening. My name is Jackson Stacy, and tonight I will be presenting our presentation on expanding to the Japanese marketplace. Now, some may ask, why Japan? Well, Japan is a technological powerhouse, one of the biggest industry centers in all of East Asia. Now, first, before we get into it, we have to make a presence. The Japanese marketplace is a bustling area full of opportunities in the technological, automotive, engineering, security, and electronic entertainment marketplace. Yet when many companies they go and they expand to Japan, they often do not make the right connections to their Japanese constituents. This leads to the Japanese prefer to be self-reliant, and this is seen in Japan's signature self-alienated culture, which they've had for many, many years. However, if you're able to understand and master the culture, the language, and lifestyle of the Japanese, you will find a more receptive and friendly crowd for future business partners. Now, how to successfully expand? Well, first we're over the basic knowledge, just very simple stuff. Then we have to learn the language and know the speech. Knowing the customs, that's how to act. And knowing the culture, looking the part. Let's start off with some basic knowledge here. Here we have the country of Japan, and over here we have China. Background information. Japan is an East Asian country located east from China and west from the United States, so it's right across the pond. Japan is roughly 145,932,000 square miles. The population is 127 million, and while this is a large population compared to the square miles in Japan, Japan's population is actually decreasing year by year. Japan is considered to be extremely nationalistic, just in case you ever wanted to know, and the United States is Japan's biggest exporter of goods and services. Next is a language: katakana, Shinto, and kanji. Katakana is the most wide-spoken and modernized language of Japan. It's the most commonly used language in Japan as well. This is the single most important language to learn whenever you're doing business in Japan. The next is Shinto. Shinto is the oldest of the Japanese languages and is only spoken in the old Japanese religion of Shinto, as in text or religious ceremonies, and by old-fashioned Japanese elders. Kanji. Now, kanji in essence is the exact same as katakana, but it uses Chinese characters instead of Japanese characters. And it's really only important whenever you're moving your business from Japan to China. Next is the customs. This is a country of respect. Japan has a very strict and methodical set of customs. In fact, so strict and so diverse that you'd be best to research what culture and what part of the country you're going to, because it actually varies from north to south. Well, the population of Japan will usually excuse your mistakes. I mean, they're not too ridiculous about it. Japanese businessmen will already expect you to know the customs if they're receiving you in Japan. Let's go over the basic rules. In the following slide, we're going to discuss rules of thumb and the do's and don'ts when doing business in Japan. Let's go over the do's first, shall we? Do bow politely when meeting someone for the first time and when parting ways. Always show the most respect to the elders of Japan, as the Japanese do. Always take off your shoes when entering a place of residence. You get invited over to someone's house, meet the family afterwards, take off your shoes. Always offer to pour drinks. Pour drinks because they love to party. They have a good time. And whenever you accept business cards, always accept with both hands and read thoroughly. They take a lot of pride in their business cards. Now let's go over the don'ts. Never tip. That's an insult. If you know, tipping in a lot of places in South America, it's frowned upon. They think it's very disrespectful. Do not speak in too loud of a voice. Put your inside voice in. Do not interrupt another when they're speaking. Common sense. And don't put business cards in the back of the pocket. I mean, because like I said, they respect business cards quite a bit. They love business cards in Japan. So when it gets all in your back pocket, it gets all crumbly and gross. They don't like that very much. And finally, don't come out of a bow until they do. Now, next, we're going to be connecting with the culture, the Japanese mindset. Now, understanding, honor, and pride. Like stated before, the Japanese have a very respect-based culture. This results in a very prideful and honor-based society. You'll find that Japanese will show respect to all and expect the same in return. Now, let's go to the biggest takeaways. Katakana is the most wide-spoken and important language when learning Japanese. This is your number one priority when learning. Study what the Japanese expect of their own population. You have to act as they would act. Practice how to act when addressing people. It's very simple. The basic greetings, the basic methodical ways of doing things, make sure you study that. And there are many expected cultural customs, as you know. And when in doubt, respect is the key. If you're not sure how to make jokes or make small talk, it's best to not do that. It's best to be very straightforward in your speech. And finally, make sure that those working for you and representing you are properly representing the work ethic that Japan expects. So like I stated before, you work hard, people under you also must work hard. Now, I hope you all enjoyed the presentation. I'd like to encourage you all to do business and enjoy your evening.